Hello, can you guys hear me? Let me know. There are always plague goblins. Always the plague goblins. Alright, you guys can hear me. Good, good, good. Okay. Yes, no, I am trying to be here, but evidently OBS has other plans, so bear with me, and I will be live, well, proper live. Proper live. I'll be proper live in just a moment. Don't you worry. All right. Ah, boy. Hello. Hello. Hello, everyone. How are you all? My name's Michael. I'm the Dead Aussie Gamer, and I am being plagued by tech goblins because it's just what I've got here. It's just what I've got here. How are you all? I hope you guys are doing well on this beautiful Monday or Sunday, depending on where you are in the world. Today, I am going to be doing a bit of a refresher on a classic game that I have been playing on and off because my players were unfortunately not available for today's session of Curse of the Crimson Throne. So I decided, you know what? Let's stream something. Let's do something fun. Let's go hang out with the cool people. And then the tech goblins are like, no, you can't go hang out with cool people. Instead, I'm going to have you sit here for ages doing tech. Yes, so that's what we're doing. So that's what happened. But today, guys, I am going to be doing a refresher of a system that I quite enjoy called City of Mist. City of Mist is a superhero-styled RPG set in the modern world in which several regular people, or many regular people, have been granted powers of phenomenal and cosmic nature based upon various fairy tales, folklore, and stories. And you take on the role of one of these fantastical people and try and live out your day-to-day life, battling against, trying to live a normal life against the story of whatever the fairy tale happens to be, trying to play out and come into fruition. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be going and taking a deep dive into it, refreshing my memory on it, and learning what we can about it, and giving you guys a chance to ask questions, do some cool stuff. Hey, Phoenix Path, thank you for hanging out. Love your lurk. We'll see you soon. Hope you have a wonderful day. Let me just very, 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 very quickly want to learn City of Mist. Mist, come hang out with DAG. This gripping superhero RPG. And then, boom, there it is. I am now somewhat on track. This is very loosely on track. Okay, so what can we say about City of Mist? Now, City of Mist we played a while ago when we had our Twitch plays, and those were a lot of fun. We played a character who I'll put up here for you guys to take a look at, Babouche. We played Francis Burke, who's this dude here. Look at this guy. How cool is that? We played Francis Burke, who was a down on his luck. Oh no, I'm moving the background. Background, you stay there. Okay, I'm gonna pin you. There, you stay there. You don't move unless I tell you. Anyway, yeah, so this is Francis Burke. He, was kind of like a paramedic who had a series of bad stuff happen to him. He was possessed by the spirit of Dr. Frankenstein. And so he gained powers over electricity as well as resurrection. So that was one of our very, very first iterations into City of Mist. It's a very, very cool concept, and that story I think went for like six episodes, something like that, and was a lot of fun. Next up was Charlie, and Charlie was our season 2 character where we played a punk rock chick who was given the powers of Nikolai Tesla. And it was up to her to avenge her drummer, who had been the victim of just kind of like a thorough beating. So these were our 2 characters that we made. But as you can see, like, the characters themselves have their own lives, have their own things that they want to do. But ultimately, because of the gifts that they have, you started to see little things from the stories plague the lives of these regular people. So with Frank, he ended up resurrecting a woman while he was working as a paramedic, and he was being haunted by that woman. That this figure would constantly hound him, and he would not know anything about it. So he was always trying to stay one step ahead of it. Whereas Charlie's thing was about bringing a light to the world, to create innovation, to do all that sort of stuff. And more than one occasion, Charlie leaned on, like her allies, her friends, and stuff like that, in order to try and, do something right by the world, to kind of be the good person. And yeah, these are the starting characters. But yeah, let's leave some of these up on the screen, shall we? There we go. Leave these 2 up over here. There you go. So, City of Mist is a very simple game, a very super simple concept. Effectively, it is a 2d6 game where you take out your 2d6, which we have here. Ta-da! And you choose a series of actions in order to perform your whatever it is you want to do to interact with the world. For example, if you want to attack someone or get into a bit of old fisticuffs, you would use a face danger check, which is, as you can see over on the side there, one of the checks you can do. You roll 2d6, adding all of your powers, abilities, tags, etc., which I'll explain in a minute. You would then add all these abilities, and if you get 6 or less, you fail. If you get 7 to 9, you'll succeed, but usually with like something like a complication of some kind. And if you get 10 or more, it's considered to be a glorious success, and there's no complication. Hey, Lilac Mage, welcome in, grab a seat. So yeah, that is the basics of it. Really, City of Mist is about building your characters and creating a cinematic story, more than getting hunkered down by tons and tons and tons of rules. So let's take a quick moment here. Let's take a quick moment here and actually get some music, actually, while I'm remembering this. It's a bit too loud. Come back here. Dial it back, buddy. Okay, there we go. Boom. Hell yeah. Okay. Much better, much better. Okay. So, let's start. Where do we start? Let's start by looking at some of these actions. So we have the player moves, which I should now be able to add to here. There it is. Boom. Look at that. Player moves. Ba-da-da-da. Here we go. Alright, so these are the player moves that you can take. Let me know if these are too small and too difficult to read, because I'll just zoom in. Actually, you know what? I'll just zoom in anyway. Hold on. I'll just zoom in anyway. Alright, there we go. Boom. Alright, so these are all actions that we can take as players. These actions here are the actions that are, I guess, like, on the forefront. They're kind of like the actions that you use mostly during combat and stuff like that, as opposed to actions you take out of combat. So convince. When you use your ability to talk, threaten, or seduce someone into doing something, roll plus power. On a hit, choose the relevant status. Tier equals power. Your target can choose to either take the status or do one of these things. On a 7 or 9, give in a little but protect their own agenda. On a 10, they change their agenda to include yours, at least for the time being. So, language here, guys. Roll plus power. Now, every single character has what we call tags. These tags can be story-based and are based on the powers that you guys get. We'll explain a little bit more of that when we hit character creation. But for every tag that you have, you gain a power that adds to this roll. So let's say that my job to convince someone is I need to convince them to look after my dog. I need to convince you to babysit or to pet sit for the time being. Great, fantastic. So I'm going to roll 2d6, which is my roll, which I rolled a 7, which isn't bad. 7's a hit nonetheless. But I also have money, and money might be a tag. It might be an item tag. I have a reasonable amount of money, so I can pay you. So that might improve my convince to 8. I might also be possessed by the spirit of a car salesman or someone who is like a good, sort of communicator, and one of my powers could be the ability to sway people with my words. Great. So that 8 becomes a 9. Now 9 is still only a hit, so what then happens is they can choose a relevant status power, which I would say would be like, let's say, helpful. Helpful is the status power that I'm going to give him. I'm going to give him the helpful condition. He can choose to take the helpful status, or he can give it a little but project his own agenda, or change the agenda to include mine. And that's kind of how that works. Easy? Cool. Alright, changing the game. When you use your abilities To give yourself or your allies an advantage, roll plus power. On a hit, you get juice, which is power. Spend your juice to gain the following effects. Create a story tag, burn a power tag, give or reduce status. On a 10 or more, you get a minimum 2 juice, and you can also use your juice to scale up effects, prolong effects, hide effect, and any improvement the MC agrees on. All right, lots of weird stuff here, but let's talk about it here. So, when you use your abilities to give yourself or allies advantage, right? That is the basic of what this is. Roll plus your power, same as everything. Roll plus whatever tags we have. On a hit, you get juice equals power. Now, juice, as we say here, can do a number of different effects. Juice is kind of like almost like how much juice you're going to give this. You're going to give this a lot of juice. You're going to give it a little juice. You know, it's like energy expended. Spend your juice to gain one of the following effects. So, if you succeed, you can create a story tag. So this could be creating a story like let's say, for example, we'll keep with the dog sitting thing. Creating a story tag might be creating the tag of, I'm looking after this person's dog. Turns out this person has a dog. And so I'm going to give him the empathy story tag, which, you know, works throughout all this thing. Now, the other thing we can do is burn a story tag. Burn a power or story tag. So burning a power or story tag might be me doing something without needing to roll. So for example, if I want to use my power to convince someone, but I don't want to roll for it, I just want to convince him, I might burn that power, which means I can't use it until I regain it. And then, you know, sort of like focus all of my energy, burn that power tag. It means I can't use it. I've burnt out on it, but I succeed on the check. Or I can give myself, again, a story tag, where it's like, all right, if I've asked this guy to dog sit for me, he's not convinced, I'm going to create a story tag for myself that maybe there's someone else I have that's important to me that can look after my dog. So creating a story tag, kind of works in this way. What it means is that you as a player do have some control over the action in the game, because it's unlike a D&D game where you as a player are kind of a passenger to the story, where you're on the story, you get to influence and engage with the world around you. This one here, there are levels where you actually can create the world and actually do have the ability to add and contribute to the narrative side of things as well. So yeah, I do. That's one of the things I do like about this game. I really do like about this game. Hey, Captain McFriendly just got in. Been wanting to see more of this. Very awesome. Thank you for putting it out there. Thank you so much. If you are interested, by the way, again, we are doing this for a reason, and the reason is that City of Mist is releasing has released. It's already there. Boom, Kickstarter. There it is. For Local Legends, which is their new book. So yeah, go check that out. Oh, speaking of which, I should also put up our fundraiser thing. We're also raising funds to go to Gen Con. Boom, there it is. Yeah, no, I'm so keen on the new book. Actually, do you guys want to watch the trailer? Well, no. Let's finish this, and then we'll watch the trailer. That's what we'll do. Yeah. I know what I'm doing. Okay. So yes, this is how juice works. Give or reduce a status 1 tier per juice. So this is what is effectively healing as well. So give or reducing a status could be you pull out some bandages, you reduce the status of your injured condition from like 2 to maybe 1 or whatever. Much like story tags, your status effects can also impact your skills as well. So if I'm firing a gun and I've got the injured condition, it may be harder to aim. So I might take a penalty equal to however high my injured status is to my rolls as I'm shooting. Now, traditionally, this doesn't get very high. So in a status, there are only ever, I think, 6. Let me just have a quick look here in my notes. Come here, you. There it is. Yes, there's only ever 6. Because once you hit 6, your character is incapacitated by that status. So if you've been electrocuted, you might have the electrocuted thing. And, that's giving you injured or burn or whatever. And you're okay at 1, 2 is kind of looking bad. 3 is pretty dire. 4 is kind of like, yeah, you really need to fix this. 5 is critical, and usually you're unconscious. And 6 is just straight up dead. So it does take a little while to get dead, but, you know, it's, you know, something to know. If you get a critical on your changing the game, however, you gain a minimum of 2 juice, means you can get more. And in addition to what you can normally use juice for, you can scale up the effect, getting more creatures or having a longer effect. You can conceal the effect of what you're trying to do, or you know, any kind of other improvement to the action you want to take, and that is to change the game. This is probably one of the most useful skills in the game, but not one of the most used, I think. Face the danger. Nice and easy. You avoid incoming hit, endure harm, resist a maligned influence, or hold it together. So in City of Mist, the Fate Master, or the Master of Ceremonies, they do not roll anything. They don't, you know, they don't make any rolls. Instead, the players are the ones who always do rolls. So if I have a challenge for you to, let's say you're on your way home to your house, where you finally managed to find a dog sitter to look after your dog, when all of a sudden a fight has broken out in the street. Some gang thugs have started hitting each other with bits of broken detritus and, you know, sort of smacking each other with pipes and stuff like that. And you're trying to get back to your house, but you don't want to back down. You want to kind of get through. So you're going to walk through and try to avoid getting hit as much as possible. So with this, you would again roll your 2d6, add your power for whatever tags you would need. And if you get a 10 or more, you fend off the effects and take no status at all. But if you get a 7 to a 9, you take the status, but with a -1. So, you know, getting hit by a pipe hurts, but it won't kill you, right? So it might just be a 1 to, you know, when you're getting hit by a pipe. If you get a 7 or 9, that 1 injured that you would get is reduced by 1, which means it's 0. And there you go. So yeah, that's Face the Danger. Hey, DM Stretch, good to see you, buddy. Alright, going toe-to-toe. Okay, actually, give me 2 seconds. I'm just gonna go grab my water again real quick, and then I will return. I'll be back. To remain hydrated. It's early in the morning. I'm gonna have pancakes later on, I think. I bought some pancake supplies. Gonna make some fresh pancakes. All right. So, going toe to toe. Now, this is probably the most used skill, I feel like, whenever I've played. When you want to overcome something or someone that is struggling against you. So, it doesn't necessarily have to be a person either. Could be a dog, could be an animal, could be a vehicle, right? If someone's trying to run you over, you would use Face the Danger. But if you were trying to use your super strength to stop the car, for example, then you would go toe-to-toe. Again, roll plus power. We've gone over that. 2d6 plus your tags. On a 7 to 9, choose one of the following. On a 10 or more, choose 2. You achieve your goal. You take hold or wrest control of something. You get them good, giving your opponent a status with a tier equal to your power. Now remember, your power is how much you add to stuff. So if you're not adding stuff to it, which is weird, but if you are, then you won't be adding anything to them. So if I'm super strong, great, cool, I might add super strength to that. If I am, if I've got the power of Sun Wukong, for example, I could have acrobatics, so maybe I'm trying to grapple them. So cool, all right, so I'm gonna make my power roll. I get a +2 because I'm super strong and I'm acrobatic. And when I hit them, they now have the grappled 2 condition because that's just how I've grappled them. And lastly, block. Dodge, counter, or block, dodge, or counter at their best attempts. If you don't choose this, they can impose a status on you. If they're PC, it's tier equal power. So that what basically happens here is, whenever you make an attack to go toe to toe with someone, they will give you a condition, right? The status is usually just a one of something, or it's kind of like a kickback. So if I try to hit this car, I'm gonna get injured a little bit, right? But if I want to, I can choose to block, dodge, or counter their attempt to injure me. So usually you want to aim for a 10 so that you can block and still do stuff. But other times it's, no, cool, the car is going to hit me. I'm going to take a little bit of damage, but I have managed to stop the car from moving. Let me explain that again. I feel like I misspoke that one. So, on a 7 to 9, you choose one of these effects. Let's say we're trying to stop a car. If you want to stop a car, you can manage to achieve your goal and take hold of something. We've taken hold of the car. However, because we haven't blocked, dodged, or countered, the car is going to give us injury 1. Well, it might give us injury 2, because it's a car, right? However, if we had rolled a 10, which is our roll plus power, we can take control of the car and then also choose to block, dodge, or counter that car dealing injury to us. So that's how you really succeed with going toe-to-toe with someone. Cool? Cool. All right. Hit it with all you got. Now, hit it with all you got is one of the big ones here. When you have a clear shot and you use your abilities to hit someone with everything you've got, you roll plus your power, and on a hit, you give the target an appropriate status of your choice with your tier equaling your power. So this is kind of like how you want to really take an advantage in a scene. You want to be hitting it with the full force of what you're capable of doing. On a 10, you choose 2 of the following. On a 7 to 9, you choose 1. You take cover or secure a superior position. If you don't choose this, they can impose a status on you. If they are a PC, it's tier plus power. Okay, cool. So much like the blocking with the toe-to-toe, this one also kind of incurs a backlash. You get them good or get many of them, plus 1 tier. So that means, let's say, for example, I'm going to hit them with all I got. Okay, so these gang thugs that are fighting in my street. Okay, cool. I'm going to, turn the water hose on them. So I'm going to, turn it on and try to get them good. You control the collateral damage. So basically, if I spray them with water, I might say, well, spraying them with water has caused the street to become slippery. It is now a hazard, right? Whereas control the collateral damage might be, thankfully, there's a storm drain nearby, and the water isn't really, kind of making this area slippery. You hold the target's attention, so you get their attention, they kind of pay attention to you, or you gain the upper hand. You get a juice, which you can then use for what we said before, changing the game, which is here. All right, that is what it is to hit them with all you got. Then we have investigate. Pretty much as the name implies, you investigate stuff, seeking answers to burning questions. On a roll plus power, on a hit, you get clues. You spend clues to one-on-one ask the MC, or Master of Ceremonies, a question about the subject of your investigation. Or ask another player relevant questions about their character. They must give you either a straight answer or a solid lead. On a 7 to 9, they can also choose one of the following below. Your investigation exposes you to danger. The clues, you get a fuzzy, incomplete, or partially true or partially false. Or whoever or whatever asking the question can ask you a question as well. So yeah, this is kind of like the detective side of the City of Mist game. These are really, really cool because I feel as though, like, some of the times when I've played, it's like, why would you just not ask what the end answer is? And the answer is quite simple. Sometimes people don't have the answer. Some people don't know these things. So you can you can basically get a clue through your investigation, and you spend your clue to ask them a question. But keeping in mind, asking a question doesn't entitle you to the answer. Only the answer that person or that subject is going to give you. So yeah, gaining clues can also be stored for later. And you can use these to ask questions of like other characters and other NPCs. So, it's kind of a cool mechanic. I do like it. I think it's I think the fact that there are repercussions for asking too many questions is a really cool play on this this kind of game. Sneak around. When you use your ability to act secretly or deceptively, on a hit, everyone that should fall for it falls for it. On a 7 to 9, it is complicated, and the MC chooses one. Does the MC choose this? No, player chooses that one. So the MC chooses. Someone unimportant notices you, but that just made them important, right? You're perceived only by a secondary sense. Someone picks up your scent while you're stalking them, or you're seen whispering a message to someone. Or lastly, you must leave something important behind or be discovered. Probably my favorite one, that one, is leaving something behind, because then you got to figure out if you want to go back. And take the risk. When you perform a daring, risky, or outright stupid feat, roll power, and on a 10 you do it. On anything else, it gets messy, or it's a really, really hard choice. Now those are the, I guess, in combat or in battle actions. Whereas these actions here are the stuff that you do in the narrative time. So when the story is kind of playing out. So, we have finally some answers. When you find answers to your mysteries, choose 1, 2, or all 3. Gain a deeper understanding of your mythos and the subject of your mystery, or the link between your mystery and your mythos. Mark attention on the theme which your mystery belongs. You are shocked by the discovery to the point of rejecting your mythos or an aspect of your ordinary life. Hey, good night, Lilac. Have a wonderful evening. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stay safe, stay wonderful, and as always, be good to yourself. Alright, so here we, so finally some answers ties into your mythos. Now, as I mentioned, every single character is blessed or cursed, depending on how you want to view it, by a mythos, right? And so what you've done here is you've learned a bit more about them. So it might be that you've learned, let's say the mythos is Little Red Riding Hood. You've learned that Little Red Riding Hood in the original folklore wasn't just some timid girl, but she was actually a hunter's daughter and knew how to track and find and hunt. So you develop some of these skills. You kind of become more aware and more awakened to that story and the fact that you are now on it. Meaning that along the way, you will likely encounter someone who will represent the big bad wolf in your life. And that story will come to fruition. So finally, some answers is something that kind of leans into learning more about your mythos and the story you're going on. End of the road. If your identity ever becomes resolved, rephrase it in the same spirit to describe a new goal, a greater scope, a new angle. Alternatively, if this aspect of your life is truly ended, you may replace this identity's theme. So what that one is as you play the game and you kind of evolve and level your character, let me just move this over here. You gain these. These are kind of like your character cards. So you have your mythos card, which is this purple one here, and then you have kind of more of your your everyday life cards. This is your what was the term? There's mythos and it's gonna bug me. Hold on. Let me just very quickly have a look here. It is mythos and yeah, there it is. Mythos and Logos. There we go. Mythos and Logos. Haha. Yes. Okay, so yeah, your Mythos and Logos are what's there. And once you replace a Mythos, so what it could be is, it could be that my Logos is that I have a day job. But if I lose that day job, I lose that part of my identity and I gain something else. Which means new story tags, new abilities, new actions and stuff like that. So that's kind of where the end of the road kind of hits. Making the hard choice. Alright, there we go. Alright, making a hard choice. When answers demand from my mystery are within reach, but you forego them, mark fade on that. So if I give attention to the mythos gains stronger, and I gain more powers and abilities from it. But if I don't pay attention to it, and if I forego it, and I choose not to or to reject the mythos, that mythos starts to fade. Or, as we mentioned, if I lose my day job, that might start to fade as I do things that would cause me to eventually get fired. So this is kind of how you lose your various things there. Okay, next up we have montage. So downtime. So this is a really good way to like play out. I think I haven't tried this in a big table, like just in general. But a montage downtime is kind of where you like say a week is gonna pass. What do you guys do? And then you can give them the montage to have them tell you what they're gonna be doing over that period of a week. Give attention to a logos, which is obviously your day-to-day stuff. Work the case, kind of getting clues while you're kind of down. Explore your mythos, which is, of course, to pay attention to your mythos and find out more about it. Prepare for the next activity, which gives you juice. Recover your burnt power tags, which, as we mentioned before, you can burn power tags to get basically a better success. Or you can change the game and get better effects with that, too. Lastly, you can also recover from your last activity, which means if you were injured, or you gain a status, you can kind of reduce those as well. Flashback. Once per session, when you have the spotlight, you can choose to describe an action carried out by your character in the past and make a move which affects the outcome of the current scene. So I know a lot of GMs already do something like that, where you can actually flash back to a previous encounter and then say, well, thankfully I was here earlier and I bribed the god and the god is now going to let me in. And then you're back in the scene and you bribe the god. I love the idea of the flashback stuff. I think it just adds more to that cinematic style, which I very much enjoy. Very, very much so. Stop holding back. When you use your power in a new and never before seen scale, tell the MC what you hope to achieve, and they will tell you the sacrifice it will take. You then roll plus your logos, and on a hit, you achieve exactly what you wanted to achieve. Which is either to fade, crack, or burn all the powers on one theme. Replace one of the themes that you have. Or destroy or transform forever. Taking a tier 6 status. Now, what this is basically you using your mythos to its absolute degree. Which means that that either you are going to be sacrificing one of your identity cards. You might be burning a ton of the tags that you've accrued over the time, like maybe some of the relationships, or maybe let's say for example that people see you represent or showing off your powers of Little Red Riding Hood, and that might actually mean you sort of being stalked by this giant shadow wolf, and people see that, and suddenly your relationships are kind of less. Or maybe it'll burn some of the tags that you've established. Friend to the animals, but the animals don't want to approach you. Stuff like that. And on a 7 to 9, you can also you're killed or destroyed or transformed forever. You're taking a tier 6 status. So as I mentioned before, tier 6 is usually dead, but it could be you are disfigured or a whole bunch of other stuff. Can't face the danger against it, and you then replace one of your themes. So that's a big one there. Hey, Distal's Place is shouting me out. Where's Distal's Place shouting me out? Oh well. Okay. Geek out during credits. At the end of a session when the credits roll, go around the table. Each player answers one of their questions. Which is basically just how you found the game. And that's just a really good thing to be doing. Cool. There you go. So that is effectively how to play City of Mist. You roll 2d6, you add your story tags, and then you perform one of these actions, depending on if you are in or out of combat. I don't see any question, so let's move on. I mean, if anyone has any questions, throw them in chat. We'll answer them, of course. But let's move on and have a look at the... Let's have a look at the trailer for the new Kickstarter. Woo! Very excited. Okay, here we go. Here. Hey, Kethra, thank you so much for the sub. Mwah! Love your face. Okay, so hold on. Here we go. Okay. Alright, I'll be quiet and turn off this music.
In this city, behind the rolling mist, every little street and every forgotten quarter has its own heroes, its own monsters, from masked luchadoras to underworld gods. It's not always about grand theatrics, you know? Sometimes you need to go back to the place where you started, the streets you grew up on, the origins of your myth. Reconnect with the people you swore to protect. They need you now, more than ever, to be their neighborhood heroes, to become their local legends. City of Mist, the hit cinematic modern fantasy RPG, returns with descriptor-based mechanics that unchain player creativity and story-driven, non-linear character evolution. New districts and locations, new cases to investigate, new favorite NPCs and playable characters, and a new all-inclusive bundle. City of Mist, Local Legends, now on Kickstarter.
Gracias, gracias. Hey, Wandering in Wilder. Love from Distal's place. Distal! Distal is wonderful. Hi. Welcome in. Is Distal streaming and talking about me? Do I have to go into his chat and have words? Is that what's happening? Let me see. What are you up to, Distal? Also, welcome. Yeah, he is doing stuff. Look at him and the stuff he's doing. No, Distal is a really, really good friend, guys. Let me give him a quick shout out here. Boom, there he is. I'll be playing around a table with Distal coming up very, very soon over at Convergence. So, yes, a wonderful place to hang out. Really, really cool community. Definitely highly recommend. If you have not gone and checked him out, go check him out. But yes, going back to it, City of Mist. No, when we did our live play of I was just, you know what? I've already done the shout out. I was doing the shout out. I was like, hey, Distal, go check out Distal. Distal awesome. And lo and behold, the Raiders come in. Guys, welcome in. For those of you who don't know, my name's Michael. I'm the DAG Gamer. This is my place. This is my face. I do TTRPGs here. Today we are doing we're just chatting about City of Mist. City of Mist is a cinematic, modern-day superhero type of RPG, and it's a really fun, rules-light kind of game. So yeah, there you go. Kenkus. You guys can have Kenkus. I mean, we've been over this. Guys, just real quick as well, I'm so excited to actually get to run a game for you guys at Convergence. That's going to be a lot of fun. I was actually told that the person who had pulled out was Amy Vorpal, and I was like, okay. I mean, they're not gonna be disappointed that you know I'm gonna be stepping in, and they were like, nah, they'll be good, and then I found out that I'm gonna be doing your table, and I'm you know, it was a big relief for me to know that I'll be running a game for you guys. So very keen, very excited. And no, Kenkus don't scare me. So yeah. Now, guys, we are talking City of Mist. So if you guys do have questions about the system, about the game, let us know and we'll chat about it. But yes, I'm currently also raising funds, as you guys can see above me, to go to Gen Con. So if anyone is keen on donating to the stream, you are obviously more than welcome, and it would be greatly appreciated. Tomorrow we're going to be building our very first City of Mist character. Well, I say first City of Mist character. We're going to be building a City of Mist character, which will be played on this Sunday as a Twitch plays. So you guys will be playing that character, and I'll be making a Hero Forge mini down there, as you can see. You're not at the Kenku table, but I'm also replacing Tim. Oh, right. Hey, cool. No worries. That's gonna be bloody awesome. I have 3 games. I have 3 games that I'm replacing. So let's see. Yes, I'm very, very keen. If you haven't, I've already sent in some stuff for like some of the game details, just trying to learn about like some of the people that are there and what they're doing. So yeah, let me know. Share some stuff. Hey, wait, Gen Con. Yes, Gen Con. Ha ha ha. Gen Con is a seriously non-serious game. Oh, you know what? I've got so many ideas for a Kenku game, but I want to make sure everyone's in on it. So yeah, that's you. Oh, Distal, you bloody legend. Thank you so much for the $10 donation. It is super, super appreciated, my friend. Mwah. St. Juice surpassed the gold. No way! That's freaking awesome. That is so cool, Phantom. I am very, very happy to hear that. Also, very happy to see you here, and you know, it was really good playing with you as well. I don't know why it sent it on. I don't know, man. Like my notifications are very weird. They bug me all the time. But yeah, no, that's really cool. And guys, if you didn't know, our dear friends over at Lord Gazumba are doing a charity stream where he set a very, very, very impressive goal of $20,000 for a charity fundraiser for St. Jude's, which is a children's hospital. And I was very, very fortunate to be a part of that last Friday with Phoenix Iwaki. And they've just apparently cracked the 20K mark, which is freaking so good, so amazing. And going to such a great cause, you know, and yeah, very, 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 very proud to have helped out on that one. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we've talked about City of Mist and the player perspective, where you take on the role of these characters, and you know. Oh, hey, thanks, Distal. I really appreciate that. You know what? I think I'm covered for tickets and accommodation. At the moment, I think it's just flights that I need. So boopity boopity boop. That's what that is, because yeah, that's basically it. Flights are always the biggest spender, but you know, greatly appreciate it. Around my first session of a D&D campaign last night, they loved it. Looking forward to the next session now. Hell yeah! Have to wait 2 weeks though, as my live stream D&D game clashes next week. No worries, no wakas. That is, you know, it's always tough. Scheduling is probably the biggest demon for any TTRPG, to be honest. Abso-freaking-lutely. Sorry, catching up with chat as we have all our lovely raiders coming in. Nini Neste, welcome in. Thank you for the possums and the screeings. I see Pixel and Scorch Queen. I see Scorch Queen. Hi, Scorch Queen. Cyanility. I hope I said that right. Probably didn't. And yes, good. All right. Said hello to everyone. Aha. Brune. Hey, what's up, Brune? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Almost burnt my external hard drive this morning. Wow, that's impressive. That's impressive. All right. So for those of you who have just come in, who have missed out kind of like one of the cool bits of this system, let's recap that super quickly. So City of Mist, you play the role of people who, hey, Taverns of the World are coming in. Guys, all the raiders, welcome. Jesus. Not all dragons are bad. No, not all dragons are bad. Absolutely. Guys, a big shout out as well to Tavern of Worlds. Thank you so much for bringing your community here. My name is Michael, I'm the Delta Gamer. We're just about to sit down and talk about City of Mist. We've covered some of the rules already, but if you're just joining us, City of Mist is a cinematic modern day superhero adventure where you come from a city shrouded in mist and mystery. The people here are either those who cannot see the magic that exists around them, or those who have been blessed by a mythos, a story or legend or folklore that has granted its power to unsuspecting civilians within the city. Now, the crazy thing about this is that these people start to live their lives according to the mythos, and the stronger that mythos's influence becomes over that person, the more that it begins to take them on the journey of their story. So, for example, we were talking about Little Red Riding Hood. You may start off with the power to kind of sense predators nearby, to kind of understand when you're in danger, and eventually leads into, the story where you, as a person, as a character, is suddenly being stalked by something or someone. Then you might unlock a new power, which might be, your ability to hunt, because it's the old original Scandinavian Little Red Riding Hood who was able to hunt in the woods. So you may end up with an ability and a high proficiency in ranged weapons, and then you earn this as a power. You gain a bunch of tags for it. But now, because your mythos is expanding, the big bad wolf is now on your tail, and you actually have to avoid being attacked by this entity, this shadowy like figure. So, as the stories progress and you gain more power, it balances itself out, because once you eventually have 4 mythos, you are an embodiment, you are an avatar of that story, and it simply will play out, which I think is just so cool. The other option is you can also reject it and try to cling on to your normal life, or your logos as it's called, and push back against the mythos. And if you do, you actually get to reclaim some of your life and go back to living a normal life, which is always fun. And I love this duality, this dichotomy between, do I get more power or do I push back against it? It's very cool as a system concept and a system idea. But right now we're going to be working. Now we're going to be talking about actions that the MC, or the Master of Ceremonies, can take to influence the game as you play. So this is what the MC can do. Let's see. There we go. So as we're playing the game, right? The MC's role is to communicate with the group what the story happens to be, to find out as you play, and to be the character's biggest fans, making their lives interesting and being cinematic. What this means is that, unlike a lot of RPGs where the GM creates the story and then you simply follow that story, influencing and kind of playing around within that space, the players have a lot of agency. The players can create story tags which allow them to say, hey, look, my character is a doctor, and the guy at the front desk, he knows me personally. He knows that I'm a doctor. I'm going to use my change the game skill, and if I succeed, I'm going to give that god familiarity as a condition, and he is familiar with me. So, okay, cool. So we're going to roll. We add our stuff. We get a high enough thing. All right, he is familiar with you, but he doesn't like you. And that could be another angle to it. It's like because you failed, right? So MC principle is about like working with the players to tell the story, not to dictate to them what the story is. However, the MC can intrude on story. At any point in the game, even when a player has taken the spotlight, you can intrude. You may translate the story into rules and what needs to be done. So, for example, if a player is dictating and saying stuff, it's like, I'm gonna take a glass of whiskey, shoot it back, and then slam it on the table, and then start interrogating this person. An MC could turn around and say, actually, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna give you the drunk tag as you are starting to get drunk. But you're only at a 1 level. You won't have any problems till you hit level 5 or level 6. Then you're drinking to the point of excess. You can reveal a custom move that has been triggered. That is to say, if they start to, like, I grab him by the neck and start shaking my fist at him, and I want him to give me answers. Cool, let's make an investigation roll. And, MCs can intrude to give rules. Ask for more details about a player's action, in case they're not clear. To tell a player what player move their action will trigger. So that's just rules. Intervening when the player determines power. So invoking a weakness tag. So when you decide your character, you decide what story tags attach to that character. So my character might be let's go, in honor of Taverns Worlds, let's say a bartender. I'm a bartender, okay? So what story tags, because you'll always start with 3 story tags, what 3 story tags do I want my bartender to have? I would say he's got the approachable tag. Okay, cool. Which means anything which being approachable would be a benefit, I would then add it to my power. As a bartender, I am also quite a good mixologist. So I might throw in mixology. I can, like do a lot of like cocktails, stuff like that. Sweet. And then last one, I might also put in. I also want to dabble kind of in the bartending, bouncering kind of thing. I want to be able to force people away. So let's add in well built, right? Well built isn't necessarily super masculine strength, but it's strong enough, right? So well built. So well built, approachable, and mixology. Those are my 3 tags. Now, in addition to that, I have to choose a weakness tag. What is my weakness? My weakness could be that I am, like, as a bartender, I don't make much money. So I don't have much money. That is my weakness. So I need to get through there. I want this guard to be familiar with me. Great, fantastic. But as I approach, he asks for a bribe. Unfortunately, I reach into my pocket and, oh no, I don't have much money. Damn. And that's, that's the GM or the MC invoking that weakness. You do not have enough money on you to bribe him. Done. What this does is it does make the weakness happen, but it does give the player a chance to gain more benefit if they still succeed despite that weakness, and that's kind of why they do it. And lastly, choose the outcomes. So that again is just purview of the MC. Is you always want to make sure you know what the outcomes of the player actions are going to be. Soft MC moves complicate things. Hit them with a fair warning, or optional activate their weakness tag as a flaw. These are just the general things to, the scene will keep moving. But you just throw in a little thing there. All right, you've gone up to the guard. The guard is familiar with you. He doesn't quite like you, and you don't have enough money to bribe him. All right, you have a chat with him for a little while, and eventually he lets you in. But as he lets you in, somebody else has noticed you go in. It is the owner of the club. He begins to yell at the bouncer. So this is how one would complicate things. For example, hit them with a fair warning. The bouncer might let him in, but say, "Hey, listen, Samuel's looking for you, and if you're not careful, he's gonna make trouble for you," and that might be a fair warning. So yeah, MC hard moves. Now these ones here are things that will instead of allowing the scene to continue, will stop the scene in order to do something. Complicate things big time. So this might be you walking into the club, and Samuel seeing you and stopping the club's music to come and yell at you. Okay, deny them something they want. Cool. The bartender is going into the nightclub in order to go and speak to his ex-girlfriend who is supposed to be here. So deny them something they want. So they go to the bar. They ask about their girlfriend. The girlfriend's not here. Not here. But you are then, told like that she doesn't want to see you. You need to get the hell out, and that could be it. Make something horrible happen. Well, turns out the ex-girlfriend is here, but is only here because she's trying to pay off her debt for a hospital bill that her mother is dealing with. So she is working as a waitress. And yeah, making something horrible could be like as she's serving drinks, she's tripped over and knocked to the ground, and there are people bullying her, and you have to turn around and get into that. Make something horrible happen. Turn their move against them. So if you're investigating, if the bartender's investigating the woman he's looking for, the MC might turn around and say, "Cool, your investigations have led you to be investigated because no one knows who you are or where you've come from." And chief among them, which is a undercover police officer who takes note of you. Give them a status. So again, this can be a status of he take a couple of shots at the bar while you're asking around, gaining the drunk condition, or reduce or remove a status. So maybe you don't take that drink that's offered by the bartender and you lose some of your drunkard drunkard status. Burn a tag. So again, if you want to use your powers, but don't necessarily want to roll on them, you can burn a tag in order to have that power work even better. And you as a MC can choose to say, "Hey, that's going to burn your tag because you're forcing yourself to use your power way too hard here." And force them to choose. Give them a choice. Choices are always important. Lastly, as an MC, you want to be narrating to your group. You want to be building that story. You want to make the world feel lived in, make the NPCs vivid, and that is the basic nature of your sessions. So yeah. So there you go. That is what the MC's responsibilities are. Here we can see some tracking sheets to keep track of your story stuff. These sheets, by the way, are available on DriveThruRPG. If you simply search City of Mist and look for the yellow sheets, there's a lot of stuff there for it as well. But yeah, that, ladies and gentlemen, is City of Mist. A fun little system there. And we will be doing a live play on Sunday with the audience. So Twitch plays City of Mist will happen on Sunday. As for tomorrow, when we find a time, I will be chatting with you guys and building a character, which is going to be an absolute blast. So yeah, that'll be great, and we'll make a Hero Forge mini, maybe even design like some rudimentary plot. Find out what the plot's going to be, and have a freaking amazing time with that. Sound good? Sound good? Good. Excellent. All right, guys. Well, unfortunately, that is all I have time for today, as today is going to be going towards prepping for a few different things and getting everything pretty much sorted. I do have my costume pieces, by the way, which have come in for Convergence. So there will be a showcase of these lovely pieces coming up very, very soon. So if you guys want to see that, please follow us on all the cool stuff at the Dead Aussie Gamer. Boom, there it is. Yeah, and you'll get to actually see what I'm going to be wearing at Convergence. Hey, Odd Bandicoot, you've come in just at the end. But yes, in case you missed out, Odd, we are going to be doing a City of Mist Twitch plays on Sunday. Because there is a new Kickstarter out. So there's that as well. Real quick, boom, here's the link to the Kickstarter, Local Legends. So yeah, be sure to tune in tomorrow where we create our character, and then Sunday where we are going to be playing it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be absolutely freaking great. Hey, Avarian, good to see you. Welcome in. All right. Let's pass on the raid love. Let's go hand this over now. Let's go see Lou Boffin. Lou Boffin is a good friend of the channel. She is currently doing some map making for some D&D stuff. Guys, stay safe, stay wonderful. Thank you for, as always, giving us your time today. My name is Michael. I'm the Dead Aussie Gamer. Be sure to tune in. We've got a big series of stuff lined up this week. We've got 2 shows on Sunday, including a My Hero Academia game of my own design, featuring Duke from One Shot Questers, Caustic Phoenix, and of course, our dear, and wonderful friend, Raina from Careful Cantrip, are all going to be playing this Sunday here on the Dead Aussie Gamer channel. And then, guys, following that, we're going to be doing Dragon Kitchen, which is going to be our food-based D&D RPG adventure that is going to feature the Legend of Evantris Mace playing the role of Gideon against DM Dave. So stay tuned for all of these things. Give us the follow, look at all the cool things, until we meet again. Guys, as always, from me to you, game hard or die trying. Mwah! Arrivederci. Ciao, ciao, ciao.